So I just wanted to maybe share a little bit with you why I think this is important for DEOs and what is the vision, because I think it's very ambitious and maybe could help you for also for recipes for your life, as you were saying at the beginning. So
Yes.
basically, the evolution that we are working on now is to try to generalize this way of organizing information and conversations, because we think that this pattern is repeating in different places. If you see Telegram, well, this is a section in which some people can talk. If you see Discourse, well, this is an organization that has some sub areas like these topics, and each sub area has these posts which are like sub parts of it. So you see this way of structuring information into aggregated context. We want to call them context as a pattern that repeats in many places. And so what we want to do is to get rid of, to create a tool that is able to organize this context beyond projects. So get rid of the project level and go to sort of like a Google Drive approach in which everything is a folder, and you can take any conversation channel or context, either because it's a conversation channel or holds data, and organize it the way you want. This means that there is no like a clear membrane of what is a DEO, and I think this is a very important concept. So I don't think DEOs are going to be like companies in the sense that they are independent one of each other, and you have Aragon, and you have the DAO stack, so separate items. I see DEOs as an ecosystem in which the membranes mix together. And for this, it's important that you can mix the content of these organizations and also the conversations, because organizations in many ways are conversations. Okay, so one thing is that you can organize these contexts or conversation channels the way you want in the new version, with breaking any sort of hard border, organizational hard border. And then the second thing that we want to add is that for each context, the content, not the messages, the content, the cards, are added using a Git paradigm, like paradigm or process, which is you add things as steps, incremental steps. And because you do this, you enable the possibility of branching, because at some step you can have two ways forward. And this enables the possibility of having branches of content of a section. For instance, the content of the common definitions of DGov could have different branches. So you don't have to have these spaces, personal spaces anymore. What you would have some will be branches. We are actually changing the name to perspectives because they're about ideas. So we think it's a nice way of calling them perspectives. You'll have the common perspective on the definitions, but you'll have then the Anuch perspective, which is maybe common to the common perspective in some ways and different in others, and then the field perspective. And this can evolve like branches of code. They can nurture each other, you can do merges, you can do forks of like branches of branches and that kind of stuff. And this is beyond Git because in a way, one of the key challenges here is to be able to implement this version control system in a way that doesn't have a root element, which is the repository in Git. So we want to enable this to be able to branch stuff. Like you want to branch the entire content of DGov, you can do it. Or you want to branch only definitions, well, you can do that too. So branches don't work at only one root level, but work at any context level. Okay, and that's what we're working on. And the idea is also that this is like a protocol in the sense that you can take content of context, for instance, these cards, and you can create a new commit or a new version of it, some changes, in a different platform. Think, for instance, in a blockchain. And because you have identifiers for every version and every context, you can say, this is a new version of this other version of this content that was in this Web 2.0 platform. But this is a very important version because we are going to vote with our Ethereum accounts on this. So you can combine different platforms without actually integrating the technology, which is really hard. But you can jump by just referencing where this content comes from. And this means that any content created on any platform can be branched on any other platform by anyone. Okay? So that's what we want to go.
How many are you, and are you thinking of mm, having your organization as a DAO or the code running as a kind of a smart contract? So it becomes not now, but in the future when it's more mature as its own thing, where people can, based on their need, they can fork and make it be different, or like, how do you see the future? Because there's a lot of potential what you can do with what you're doing, right?
We are three persons now working in this, and I am looking for other people to join or to help funding it. So I am also looking for funding. I am moving out of the cave actually right in this last month and trying, because I think that I do have now something to propose, that trying to move it and present it. So it's starting. It wants to be a DEO itself, enable and allow for branching and stuff.
That's
I didn't answer
that's
that. So it wants to be
that's very good.
DEO itself.